when throwing a housewarming party, you want to make sure that things go very, very, very smoothly for yourself and for your guests, whether they're friends you've known for years, acquaintances that you just recently met, co-workers that maybe you want to wine and dine so you can get a better business deal, or neighbors that said, hey, we want to welcome you to the neighborhood. Thank you so much. You seem like fine people. We can't wait to know you, even though you didn't even go here until recently. This is a fine neighborhood, and as long as you're cool, we won't run you out of town on a goddamn wagon. Any neighborhoods that still have wagons in this goddamn day and age, I'm starting to wonder about those particular neighborhoods. Stay away from neighborhoods that have wagons. And also make sure to have a cornucopia of options when it comes to food, because that way, in case anybody has any food allergies, that way, well, we don't have any attacks like the young girl in Hereditary. We don't have any trips to the hospital or a local medical facility for, bad stomachs and anal bleeding. What? Wow, if you are not a wrestling fan, you don't fucking get that. But also make sure to have a lot of drinks, from bitch beers like Bud Light, Seltzer, and White Claw to the hard stuff, to wine. That way, in case anybody's a lush, or maybe it's a wife or husband that doesn't want to be there, they can drink. And then hopefully just be chatty and not be abusive. We really don't need abusive drunks here. And then you do all that and set the right atmosphere and the right tone and with the right music, then the people throwing the housewarming party won't be asking questions such as who drank all the beer, who ordered this pizza from Domino's. You couldn't have even sprung for Pizza Hut. You couldn't have even sprung for something upscale. That's okay. Here's the money. Keep the rest as a tip because you drove here, even though we didn't order it. Whatever. It is what it is. Ha! It's funny, guys. Paid out of my own goddamn pocket for that pizza I didn't even fucking need. I don't even like pizza. And then the neighbors run him out of the goddamn place. But also, then you won't be asking who did all this stuff to the house, who broke this wine bottle, who clogged the toilet, who invited them, which is a Shudder original, written and directed by Duncan Birmingham, who's only done shorts until now, so that means this is his feature film debut. We have Adam and Margot, Ryan Hansen and Melissa Tang, who have a young son named Dylan. Adam is very happy that they have this upscale house in this very upscale uphills area. I don't know where the uphills exactly are, but let's just go with, I don't know, all of them. It's just any uphills. Maybe the uphills have eyes, but they have glaucoma right now. If you're an MST3K fan, you are dying laughing in the comments. So yeah, they have a young son named Dylan, and after moving into this house, he's having nightmares about bad shit happening. But that's okay, because he's, just a 6-year-old boy. He's having nightmares. Maybe he wanted to be in his own home, and maybe these nightmares mean nothing. So Adam and Margot seemingly have a happy marriage. They throw this housewarming party. Adam seems more into entertaining the guests than Margot does. Margot is just kind of sticking in the background. And then Adam notices this couple that he later finds out is Tom, played by Timothy Grandiros. I almost want to say Grandiose right there. And Sasha, played by Perry Madfield, who is fucking gorgeous, by the way. And they find out after everybody leaves, including these friends that Adam and Margot have known for years, they take Dylan to their house to have a sleepover with their kids that we never actually see, by the way, because the movie could only afford a certain amount of extras in a certain amount of locations. And then the drinks flow and the secrets flow, and then it maybe becomes obvious Margot and Adam aren't exactly the happy couple, and maybe there's some strange stuff going on with Tom and Sasha. They seem weird. They seem very, very, open and out about, how they are as a couple. And then it turns out there's some way more sinister stuff going on. It takes a while. It does eventually get there. So yeah, Shudder usually, there's two sides of the coin when it comes to Shudder originals. You either have something really, really good, and this is original or exclusive. It doesn't fucking matter. Or it's really, really bad because it's really, really indie. This movie's 80 minutes. And actually, it's barely that. I think like the last few minutes are credits. So this movie clocks in roughly at about 75 to 77 minutes. And there's a lot of talking. The acting actually isn't all that bad. The 4 main characters that it focuses on are okay to decent at best. There's no real terrible acting in this. The thing is, you can tell where this film's going from the very beginning. Once a certain secret gets revealed about the house, it's very obvious where things are going. And if you don't understand where it's going, I don't really know what to say. Is the movie exactly shocking? No. It does kind of rush its conclusion. It's not bad. It's not great. Probably could have been a short film in an anthology. And I know I've said that ad nauseum, but this is true. This is about 40 minutes worth of material stretched to about 75 to 77 minutes. Again, not the worst thing in the world, but there are also there's like a subplot with the friends that take the son to their house, and then the wife has to drive back and get the sock monkey, stuffed animal, Pookie. Pookie, it's like, oh, it's Poochie. Pookie, died going back to his home planet. Is it over? I guess. So anyway, I would actually rather focused on Pookie, in all honesty. Have Pookie come alive and just kill everybody. Stuffed animals are scary. The movie is not great, I will say that. It's not a bad first effort for a full-length feature. I think Duncan Birmingham, he shows that he has the talent to possibly make other indie horror movies and hopefully stuff with a little bit more material. Again, the acting certainly isn't bad. It's not great, but it's acceptable for what it is. It does reach its conclusion. It is what it is, and that's really all I have to say right there. I'm going to get into spoilers here. The spoilers will not take very long, but it is on Shudder. Check it out if you would like. We're going to get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so Adam and Margot are talking to Tom and Sasha. Secrets get shared. The men pair off. The women pair off. It turns out that Margot gave up playing in a band after her ex, that was her bandmate, and her broke up. And then she met Tom, and they have a son. And, that'll happen. And the son had a hamster. More on that here in a little bit. And Tom and Sasha are adventurous and don't mind swinging and doing all this stuff. And then Adam reveals to Tom, oh yeah, we got this house for a steal because it turns out that these parents got killed by these twins. These twins that never called the police. These twins that may or may not have had something to do with the murder. And these twins that just seemingly disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to them. Do you get it? Am I hitting you over the fucking head yet? Basically what ends up happening is it gets revealed that Tom and Sasha aren't actually a couple. They aren't actually neighbors. They're the twins. They decide to come back to the house where they killed their parents, and the house that they're staying in, they actually are killing an elderly couple that may or may not have known that they were being abused by their parents, which is why they killed their parents. And they're fraternal twins because they're boy and girl. And that's pretty much it right there. I mean, that's the secret. That's the big reveal. Again, not really shocking. The side plot with the neighbor wandering around or driving around and being totally goddamn lost. I get why they put it there. When her and her husband were driving back, they hit something. He said it was a tree branch. It was actually a dog that they hit, and he's a gun aficionado. There's a gun in the back seat or in the trunk. She couldn't shoot the dog, so the dog seemingly is just there dead. But they drink a whole lot. It gets a little bit violent because they won't leave. And Tom gets a bottle smashed over his head. Adam goes to apologize because Sasha accidentally left her earring. And Margot has to go rescue Adam because Adam gets captured and sees this old couple get killed. Now, why didn't they kill Adam? Because they felt that they could spare him and everything, and that we're not going to come back and you're never going to goddamn find us, even though this is the year of our Lord and Savior, Kazuchika Okada 2022. We are not going to ever be found. They tried to make it like The Strangers, Knock Knock, and Funny Games. The thing is this movie just takes an amalgamation of a few things, human centipedes them together, and that's it. And Adam ends up escaping. Margot tries to find him. And also, then this all happens within the last, 15 fucking minutes, by the way. It's like a Paranormal Activity movie. And then the neighbor, or the friend rather, that had the gun, is driving around, sees Tom and Sasha, and then Tom stabs her. It's a fucking neighborhood. It's a family neighborhood, bitch. But then she gets the gun and shoots who she thinks is the guy, but it's actually Adam. And Margot's crying out for help. And then we go back to the house, and Adam's fine. Margot's fine. They're staying in the house. They're not leaving. But then this record's playing. This record that had a scratch on it. And Tom did say earlier he was going to buy him a new one. And then there's a drink that they didn't pour. That implies that either they're there or Adam's hallucinating and Margot's like, oh, they're not going to come back. Dylan doesn't have his nightmares anymore. Who knows what's going to happen? The movie kind of just ends. It kind of doesn't know really how to fucking end. So it's like, fuck it, just end. We'll imply that we're going to get who invited them to Electric Boogaloo. That's basically it. C+. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's certainly acceptable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.